Hello, everyone. Welcome back. This is episode 3 of What If Izuku Midoriya Was a Vigilante? Let's step on in, shall we? We start with a man in the wolf armor sitting in a, for all intensive purposes, empty tea shop. And to be quite honest, he's waiting for someone. He knows they'll be here eventually. But to acquiesce, he thought a teacher would be a bit more timely. 5 minutes a bit too long. Until he hears the door open. And then a man would walk in. Eraserhead Aizawa. We switch perspectives. He was given a special mission by the Hero Commission, no less. He may not be, how to say, a private hero anymore. However, they could still ask to see if he wants to do a job. And Eraserhead's new job is to be a liaison for a man that shot him multiple times with taser rounds. So, it's fair to say that he's kind of not fucking happy about it. After he was told the location that he was supposed to meet him in, he asked the following couple of questions. Did he say this place? Yes. Why am I going to this meeting? You will be briefed by the person in the black van when you enter the location. Five minutes after the allotted time, Aizawa would enter the building, now knowing the full reason why he was put on this, and realizing the fucking detriment and headache this will cause him and the entire hero staff. Because at this point, going forward, the wolf isn't a private hero. No, you see, that would be too easy. He is seen as a necessity that the Hero Commission and the hero community cannot fuck with at the moment. So, they don't know, well, Aizawa doesn't know what he did, but he fingered a loophole so much, he was able to fit his entire fucking body in and just squeeze through. So, Aizawa isn't happiest, but he isn't the angriest. We swap back. So, they send Eraserhead Aizawa to be my liaison. The fact that Izuku knew who he was put Eraser on edge. But when he knew his name, that fucking did it. How did you know that? Well, to be quite honest, it's not hard to hack into feeds and systems. Messages are very easily traceable. It is not a difficult process. So, since, how would I put it? I am essentially put myself in a situation to where no one could touch me. I could actually enjoy a nice heaping cup of tea as Izuku would take his helmet off and yeah, and show his face to Aizawa and just take a greedy sip of tea. So, you were supposed to be my handler for the sports festival, they said. Or something similar. Make sure I don't, what the fuck was it? Shoot Endeavor in the face. Granted, personally, that's kind of sad, but fair. I am looking for people, I suppose. Aizawa would give a squint. What do you mean, looking for people? Well, I'm looking for interns, of course. And to be quite frank, UA's security has been quite lacking as of recent. Especially during the system update about an hour and a half ago, to ensure the anti-hack measure, just in case. I got everything I needed. Aizawa gave a very stern look. What did you need? Well, I wanted to look at the people that I already cherry-picked. I want to see if they're worth it. After all, I stretched my neck out so far, who knows? I might get it chopped off. Who are the people that you were looking at? Well, I can't say that yet. I believe your principal will notice and see this during the sports festival. It will be an interesting time. After all, I get some of the best seats. And I get to watch every single bit. Aizawa would give a groan of a slight irritation. Say, yep, you are correct. Well then, will you not sit down and enjoy some tea with me, Eraserhead? No need to be rude, after all. We aren't trying to kill each other. Well, I wasn't trying to kill you at all before, but it is how it is. You killed an entire room full of people. Not once. Not twice. And from what I heard about death arms, 4 times. Well, technically it's 5, but we aren't going to talk about that. I'm still doing the fucking paperwork on it, and it's a pain in my ass. We flash back to a very small group called the Fundamentalists. They were a Bokuzo gang, bikers. They were one of the Bokuzo tribes. They did not last long. We flash back. I can see Izuku putting one in a very high caliber round in one's genitals, and we flash back to the present time. Yeah, apparently when I'm being shot at, it's excessive force to shoot them back, which is incompetent, but hey, it is how it is, I guess. You scarred my students. Something that I will not forgive you for. Oh no, wait, when? He's gonna look over confused. There were 3 students behind you when you gunned down the lobby area. Oh. Oh, well, at least they got into the world quick. That's not always fucking peachy keen and rainbows. They're gonna have to learn how to deal with death eventually. Granted, it's a bit early, but everyone has to deal with it. Better early and weed out the weak than not at all and have them die for no good fucking reason. Aizawa just clenched his jaw at that and just glared, activating his quirk almost on instinct. And Izuku hasn't broke eye contact, and he's like, oh no, you're gonna erase the quirkless person's quirk, oh shit. Takes a bigger sip. But seriously though, just gonna set down this cup. My goals are pretty simple. And everything that I'm doing at the moment is exactly how I want it. If you piss on my lawn, Aizawa, I will feel bad. Not for you, but for the people around you. Because at the moment, I'm just talking. And there's no guarantee that I'm saying what I'm saying in meaning it and not just being a backhanded bastard. Even if you did have a wire. With that van outside that, he pulls out a detonator and clicks it. The van outside explodes, sending the multiple HC associates out of that van, screaming bloody murder and dying in short succession. Aizawa, we get one thing straight, and one thing straight only, as he will stand up and reattach his mask. You cannot, will not, expect me to play nice. And if Endeavor is on some shit, cancel his quirk before it doesn't work anymore. Until then, Eraser, as he would put his mask on and just begin walking away. Meanwhile, in HC headquarters, a man is foaming at the mouth, pissed. The sharp-dressed lone shark of a man, Kozui, is foaming at the mouth. He just got word that his intelligence team were bombed by the person now confirmed to be Izuku Midoriya. A person that has zero connection to the wolf by any stretch of the word except for one eyewitness and nothing else. Granted, this is a trustable witness, but having a he said, she said story wouldn't fucking work. Wouldn't hold up in court worth shit. So that's the only drop of evidence that they have in the ocean of fuck all. So it's simple to imagine that Izuku's pretty elusive. And people are pretty upset. Mirko and Hawks especially. Because when Mirko realizes she got her ass kicked by a quirkless person's robot and then got saved by a quirkless person, oh, they're pissed. Immediate. Fucking furious. Because that's essentially what happened. Which she now realizes now. The wolf talk. The entire talk she already knew it was him claiming to be superior. But now she knows it's not even because of a quirk. She knows it's because he's an asshole. Cut dry. And a cocky one at that. Hawks is more or less kind of neutral. However, his wings still fucking hurt. He had to go through a lot of feathers to make sure he didn't die in that altercation. So, we're gonna skip like 1 week. And Izuku Midoriya enters into a private booth for a private showing of the UA Sports Festival. Thick windows. He has a couple people that immediately catch his eye, Todoroki being one. However, he will have a lot of people looking at him. But as soon as he sees Katsuki Bakugo, he's so disappointed. He is disappointed in UA to no extremes. Allowing a fucking villain, or what he would perceive as one, to just walk around on campus is fucking absurd to him. But there's no real need for it. After all, him and his associate now have food, water, wine brought to him. Also some tea. Most importantly, there's another man in this room. Well, not a man. It's far too small in stature. A rat. A mouse? A weird chimera. Izuku would give a polite nod and sit down beside who he knows to be the principal, Nezu. Nezu would look over and say, "Well, this is a surprise. I didn't think you would appear." Well, principal, everyone has their interests. And mine can't be touched. There was a reason that I asked Aizawa in that letter to speak to you in person. I also understand the amount of tech in this room is something that could shut off my suit, possibly. I will not confirm nor deny that theory. However, it's a funny thing that last time I heard of you, you had a deep hatred for something, right? You had a deep, smoldering hatred for the Hero Commission. Nezu just kinda stopped and looked over and said, "Yes. What is your point?" "Well, do you know the reason why I do what I do? Why I go through and kill the men and women, the individuals that are willing, ready or not, to kill in return? Do you wish to know why?" "Because there is an annoyance that I have ran into a lot more hero association in PLF, paranormal liberation fronts, are abound, Nezu. There is a war coming, and it will be glorious. However, the League must go beforehand. Understandably, if the PLF are able to see Shigaraki as an asset to then use and attempt to twist, it would be very bad for Hero Society. But do you want to know why I made this suit, Nezu? And why I'm talking to you? The reason that I'm talking to you, Nezu, is because we have very similar goals. I just don't have morality. No, I have a very strict, razor's edge set of morals, but that's different. I have the utmost willingness to kill for what I want, Nezu. That's the difference. That and, well, a couple of other genetic factors. But you're smarter than any man that I've met. Not one that I've met before. So my question for you is this. Join me. Help me root out these problems. And when the sun sets, and when the curtains close, we go through another conversation, similar yet different. Do you agree? Well, no, that would be quite rude of me to ask for you to agree immediately. So, he's going to pull out a card, and he's going to give it to Nezu. That card holds one of my numbers. Call it, and you will have a direct access to me. Until then, let us enjoy some tea. as he would take his mask off, but only the lower functions opening up. Only barely able to see his mouth. And let us enjoy this wonderful sports festival. Shall we, Principal? The sports festival would go as follows. Todoroki would gain first place. Todoroki, Katsuki, and most of the canon act would go through, but just with one random person to replace Izuku Midoriya in this story. And the canon would essentially be as follows. And during that is when, and truly, it all goes. Nezu essentially says who catches Izuku's eyes so far, with a interested grunt. Izuku would say, Mei Hatsume, Momo Yaoyorozu, and Shinso. They interest me greatly. But also, Ojiro. No. Too honor-bound. Kirishima. Too dead set on his attitude. He won't do what's right. Not yet. Monoma. Monoma will do. Those are my picks. Picks for what? Well, there's only one reason for me to be here, Nezu. To pick up my interns. Paperwork should already be sending through. I truly do hope that Red Wolf Industries does tickle their fancy. Well, until then, Principal, I bid you adieu. As Izuku would leave the room, Nezu would stay there for 5 more minutes. As Aizawa would come out of one of the floorboards and say, Sir, he rubs me the wrong way. I know he does me the same. However, we both have similar ambition. He is just more bloodthirsty than I am. But if he's not lying about the PLF, we will have great issue. I want you to fact check this information, Aizawa. Until then, I have a couple phone calls to get to, and I have a desk to set up. I could only hope that these students, no matter how much promise they show, do not fall into his twisted mindset. And as both of them leave that room, we blacken our screen. I hope all of you have enjoyed the third episode of What If Izuku Midoriya Was a Vigilante. Like, comment, and subscribe. Tune in, turn on your bell notifications to stay updated. And please, by all means, stay frosty.